After 5 years of marriage, my husband Derek returned from a 6-month business trip with his first love, Chloe, in tow. Chloe was already more than 3 months pregnant. Derek said her life was difficult and wanted her to stay at our house temporarily. I refused, and Derek told me not to be ungrateful. His tone was full of disgust, as if he had forgotten that this mansion was my property. His whole family was living off me and using my resources. This time, I decided to cancel all living sponsorship. I smiled and called my assistant, draw up divorce papers immediately. A man who married into wealth dares to bring his mistress home openly. I had been eagerly anticipating Derek's return from his 6-month business trip. Early in the morning, I arranged all the little souvenirs I had collected for him from various places over the past half-year. I also asked Mrs. Wilson, our housekeeper, to prepare a table full of his favorite dishes. At that moment, the front door opened, and Derek appeared with his arm around his ex-girlfriend. I was shocked. Chloe walked towards me with a smile, gently caressing her slightly swollen belly as she greeted me. "Lily, long time no see." As I stared at her visibly pregnant stomach, anger surged within me. Chloe seemed to notice my change in emotion and quickly came to my side, clutching my wrist as she said in a sweet voice, "Lily, please don't be upset. This is all my fault. If you want to blame someone, blame me. Please don't hurt Derek." Chloe's simple words hit me like a thunderbolt. I hadn't said anything yet, but Chloe had already revealed everything. Derek had been watching my reaction the whole time, ready to rush in and protect Chloe at any moment. I clenched my fists and glared at Derek, asking, "Aren't you going to explain?" After I spoke, he sighed and gently said to Chloe, "Let me take you to choose a room first. I'll handle this." Derek's gentle tone stunned me. In our 5 years of marriage, he had never spoken to me like that. Under my watchful gaze, he supported Chloe as they went upstairs. The driver brought in 3 large suitcases. It seemed Chloe had moved half her home here. Although Chloe looked even healthier than me, Derek protected her as if she were a delicate doll. I collapsed onto the sofa, waiting for Derek to settle Chloe and give me an explanation. As I listened to the irritating laughter from upstairs, I was about to rush up when the doorbell rang. Derek's parents stormed in with gloomy faces, seemingly not noticing me as they quickly rushed upstairs. I followed them up and heard Derek pulling his parents aside, saying sincerely, "I didn't mean to hide this from you. Chloe's pregnancy was unstable in the early stages, and I was afraid something might go wrong. I hope you can understand. Chloe and I love each other, and the baby in her belly is your grandchild after all. Please don't blame her." I thought about the 5 years of our marriage. Whenever I had disagreements with his mother, Derek would always say that his mother was old and that I should be more patient with her. He had never stood up for me. I always thought that was just his personality. It wasn't until today, seeing him protect Chloe at every turn, that I realized I had been a fool all along. Chloe chimed in, holding Derek's mother's hand. "I didn't intentionally try to ruin Derek's marriage. We truly love each other. I hope you can understand, Uncle and Aunt." Derek's mother's frown gradually relaxed as she glanced at me standing in the doorway. I knew she was hesitating. For the past 5 years, I had been transferring living expenses to her every month. Anyone could see that Chloe's financial situation couldn't compare to mine. My heart sank. Derek, as my husband, not only failed to give me a heads up about the situation but also publicly humiliated me. Did he really think I had no temper, no self-respect? Seeing the silence in the room, Chloe's eyes suddenly reddened, and she began to sob. "The child in my womb is innocent. No matter what, I will give birth to him. You can scold me all you want, but I hope my child won't be harmed." Large teardrops rolled down Chloe's cheeks. She looked pitiful to anyone who saw her. Derek wiped away the tears from the corners of Chloe's eyes with a pained expression, his voice filled with resentment. "Mom, answer her quickly. You know pregnant women need to maintain stable emotions." After our wedding, Derek's parents had immediately started pressuring us to have a child. For 5 years, my belly had shown no signs of pregnancy, and I knew Derek's parents had said many unkind things behind my back. Considering the issue of continuing the family line, Derek's father, who had been silent until now, spoke up. "After all, Chloe is carrying our foster family's descendant. Everyone should try to control their tempers for the next few months." As soon as he finished speaking, all eyes turned to me. They looked like a united front, and for a moment, I felt like I was the outsider. I couldn't help but let out a cold laugh. Doesn't anyone want to ask for my opinion? Seeing my displeasure, Derek angrily stepped in front of Chloe and questioned me. Lily, are you deaf? We've told you everything to your face. What more do you want to know? I couldn't help but laugh coldly. My husband had been on a business trip for 6 months and came back with such a big surprise for me. Not only did he not offer any explanation face to face, but he also had the audacity to take this commanding tone with me. Seeing that I remained silent, Chloe started crying again, tugging at Derek's wrist as she sobbed, "If Lily is really angry, maybe I should leave." Derek's mother was displeased when she heard this and immediately responded, "You're carrying our foster family's grandchild. How could we let you leave?" After saying this, Derek glared at me and said, "Say something. Look how scared you've made Chloe."